Hey, this is Michael Shuman from Queens of the Stone Age, and may the rock be with you.
G'day, Mike. How are you?
What's up, Troy? I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, good, thanks. But of course, we are here because you are headed back to Australia in February with Queens of the Stone Age. Now, for someone like myself, I'm ashamed to say, hasn't seen you guys live, can you explain what a typical Queens of the Stone Age show is like?
Um, it's loose. There's a sense of danger. There's a sense of not knowing what's going to happen and that things could go wrong, but you hope they go great and maybe a little wrong too. Um, and you can expect it, yeah, expect to be really wild. We're gonna give everything we got and sweat everything out every night, and for our set list to change every night. So you won't really know actually what to expect as far as what songs we're gonna play. So I
See,
think
that
that
was, I was
keeps it
going to
fun.
ask that because with each album and each subsequent tour, your catalog grows, but are you finding it harder to put set lists together?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's really really difficult because we still don't want to do a Springsteen and do 3 or 4 hours, but so we're still in the somewhere around 20 songs that we 2 hours worth, and but we just added 10 songs, so every time you're adding 10 songs. And a lot of bands make records to kind of promote a tour, right? Whereas we make records and then get to go on tour, because we want to play those songs. So a lot of bands just do one song off that new record and then they play all their hits or whatever it is, right? And but we're like, no, we want to play 6 songs from this record,
Right.
so more than half of this record. And so it gets really, really difficult to pick and choose. Um, so I think that the one thing about changing it every night is that we're like, okay, well, we didn't get to play that last night, so we'll play it tonight. And okay, Troy, you wanted to play that? Well, too bad. We'll play it tomorrow night. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that.
So you're asking me what I want you to play? This Troy?
Not you, Troy, but the other Troy. Fuck the other Troy. Not you, Troy. You're cool.
Must be certain songs though that are staples you can't take out of the set though. Are there any of the big hits
Of
that come
course.
out sometimes?
Of course. No, I mean, I don't think we've never played No One Knows. I don't think we've
Yeah,
never played Little Sister, Go with the Flow. Um, there's a song called Song for the Dead
yeah.
that we close with every night. We've since I've been in the band 17 years, every night. And this tour, we're like, well, we're sick of closing with that. It's not even a hit song. It's just
Mm,
like a song that we've been closing with because it really works. And we tried it for like maybe a couple weeks, and people were pissed.
love it.
People knew it was coming, and people were kind of, yeah, bummed out that we didn't play it. So we've kind of put it back. Um, but yeah, yeah.
That's great. Now, the End Is Nero is one of the best names for actually anything, like for especially for a tour. How would you best define the naming of this tour?
I would best define it as that was Troy's, by the way, not you, Troy, but the other Troy that I hate.
Okay.
No, I'm just joking. But we needed to come up with a tour name. There was a bunch of ideas, and Troy said that, and we're like, "That's so good. That's so perfect." I mean, there were other winners, and because we as a band are constantly, when we're together or on a text chain, constantly like coming up with joke names and joke things and
Mm.
you know word play all the time. So, but that one won. It really stuck.
It's really good. Now, there's always one, but if you had to choose, what's your favorite song to play at every show?
Um, well, we don't really get to play it at every show, but I really love playing Misfit Love.
Okay.
It's off Air Vulgaris. There's just something to it. There's no like we don't know when it's like we can kind of take our time with it, and it's a dance song. We can kind of move in a different way, and it feels different. And it kind of, well, I like what Josh always says about it because he feels the same. Um, is he says that's the song. That song is the band that I want to be in. And I'm
Nice.
always like, yeah, totally. I totally get that because it's like can't write it. We're not going to write a bunch of Misfit Loves, but it kind of hits the mark for sonics and feel and vibe and the lyrics and all that shit.
I can dig that. Now, it's been about 6 years since you've been here, but you've been to Australia a number of times. Do you have a favorite memory of coming here?
So many. Um, I mean, forget the shows because the shows are always fun. Man, so many. It is my favorite. I said this in another interview, but it's my favorite place to tour. Um, it's the most fun, always, and we're always there during your summer. And it's great. And but I will say, I love the Mona. It is my favorite museum, so I'm really, really excited every time I get to go back there. And we
Yeah.
make it a point to go back to Hobart so that we can go to the museum. You know what
It's
I mean?
weird as
But
shit, man. I love it.
yeah, yeah, but I really, really love it. So I think that's what I would say.
Awesome. I love that. Now, in terms of new music, we once again had an amazingly named thing called In Times New Roman. Again, I love these. Out last year, it was a good 6 years between releases after Villains. Now, how, if in any way, did that period between 6 years, we know what went on, but how did that help shape the album?
Well, I mean, a couple of those years you got to put we were touring, right, on Villains. And then luckily for us, when COVID happened, we were in an off cycle. So we didn't have plans to go release. And I have a lot of friends, bands that, our record's coming out March 15th, 2020. You're like, whoops, and like that's it. And that album goes away and all your work and business goes away. So luckily for us, we didn't have to deal with that. We were going to go make a record anyway. It got postponed 9 months or whatever. But during that time, I think a lot of things happened personally for everybody. A lot of stuff and a lot of stuff, that you probably know about and stuff I don't want to talk about. And but I will say that through that and through this record making process, because of those things, we came out a lot stronger. Um, I think we got a lot closer, which I didn't really think was possible. Because I was like, oh, these are my brothers. I don't, you know, but we did. We learned a lot more about each other. Um, I think we love each other more. And because of that, and going through this record, now we're having the best time we've ever had as a band, and
Right.
going out and touring and playing every night. We are stoked. We're like, and I got to be honest, we're fucking killing it.
Mm.
And anyone that goes to our show, they'll probably say that because even friends that are bitter friends, but friends that wouldn't want to say this are like, this is the best time I've ever seen Queens.
Okay.
And we know, and we believe it, and we know it. And so I think, and it's because of that camaraderie and the shit we went through that brought us together, and then coming out and having stepping through the light, and it's great.
Perfect. Now, looking back over your career, it can be very easy to say what can change over time. But what for you is the one thing that's always remained the same about Queens of the Stone Age?
um One thing, I mean, I don't know one thing, but I guess, you know striving to evolve,
Mm.
striving to evolve as humans, as musicians. um that's the one thing, because the records, they do change, right? Like like they don't sound the same, they keep changing, and people might get bummed about that because you want to hear that thing that you fell in love with. And a lot of people, like, watch the same movies because they're scared of change, and they feel comfort in um monotony and whatever. There's something about that. I know that people like something about like watching the same movies and TV shows, that there's comfort in that. And so, but I don't want to live like that, and none of us do. We want to, grow. And I think, I know that's the one thing, but authenticity and keeping it wild is really, really important.
Best way to look at it and best way to do things. And Josh, you could have just said Josh. He's the one thing that's always remained the same.
Damn it, that was a trick question, because the first thing I was gonna say was, well, it's definitely not the members, but yeah, you're right. Josh is the one thing.
There you go. Now, when you joined the band back in 2007, were you previously a fan? Well, what was it like getting to that gig that you've now had 15 years?
Yeah, huge fan. arguably my favorite like modern band at the time. I was 21 years old. Um, yeah, huge fan. So when I got that call, um, it changed my life. It's been my whole adult life has been in this
Mm.
band. So I don't
Wow.
really know much else. I was in a band, and I was touring in a van for years, and when I say years, I mean like 5 years. But so it changed everything, and I had to grow. I learned a lot really quickly, not just about being on the road, but I guess as a man and as a human being, and um, I'm the young guy still, right? So even though I'm 38, I'm still 15 or how old's 12 or 15 years younger than everyone else.
Wow.
So yeah, it was huge. It was huge. But I don't really know anything else, and now I'm jaded as fuck. And so that's the way it is. But I still feel really, really lucky. And people do say like, you know, if you guys, take a long break, or let's say the band ends or whatever, it's like, what other bands would you want to be in? And I was like, well, I don't want to be in any of the bands. This is the only band I want to be in. Um, like I'm not a session musician. We're not hired guns. It's like this is a band.
Mm.
And so I'm not looking to go fill my time touring with somebody to get a paycheck personally. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just me. Um, and it's because I'm so lucky to be in this band. Like there's no band like this band. Um, and so yeah.
Perfect, perfect. So what's on your list of things to do you'd love to do you still haven't yet achieved?
Um, I'm approaching 40, so those things kind of start to, I'm not married, I don't have kids. All the other guys do, but they're old. We didn't, we were talking about that. So I'm trying to figure that out right now, man. Like, because, honestly, I said this to a friend. I was like, I don't know what I want to do. Maybe I want to start like a business. Maybe I want to go into like, I've always kind of like, maybe when I'm like 45, I'll do some acting like Waits or Bowie did. They just do a few movies or something like that. Um, and they were like, "You're always going to play music." And I was like, "Well, no, I don't know." And they're like, "No, you are. Like, you're not going to stop." So maybe inherently I will never stop, and I'll just want to do a new project, or produce more or do more scoring or whatever. But I'm open to like what the world has to offer. Like I
Mm.
could have a whole new fucking chapter. I could run a charity like you. You know
There
what I
you
mean?
go.
It's like and that'd be great. And so like I just don't know yet. But I'm at the point in my life where I'm very open to see what the world has to offer.
Best way to look at it. Best way to do it. So I've got 10 years on you. I'm on the downhill to 50 now. So it's like
Right. Right.
hang out
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
guys in your band.
Yeah. Yeah. It only gets worse, right? I mean, really, let's be honest.
Now, lastly, what we do with everyone is I want you to look ahead for a prediction for me. I want you to finish this sentence. By the end of 2024, Queens of the Stone Age will.
By the end of 2024, Queens of the Stone Age will not be done yet.
Geez, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah,
I don't
just
know.
keep going. No, I like it. Just keep going. Keep doing it. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait for the Sydney show, man. I've never seen you guys, like I said, so I'm really looking forward to seeing this show you've hyped up so much for me. Thanks very much.
Great. Yeah, I hope it's as good as I said it
Mike,
would be.
thanks so much for your time, man. It was really great to talk to you. I can't wait. I'll see you next month in Sydney. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, cheers, man. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. See you
Nice
later.
meeting you.
Bye.
All right. Take care.